Guys, let's talk about Brighton versus Tottenham Hotspurs. 2-2 was the scoreline at the end of the game, and Mohammed Kudus provided 2 assists. Guys, comment Kudus. Today, he was the only creative spark in that game. I believe he could have gotten 3 or 4 assists in the game if the Tottenham forwards were converting all their chances. I want us to talk about the game, talk about the performance of Mohammed Kudus and what Tottenham has to correct in their next game. But before we jump into it, don't forget to like, subscribe, and also turn on notification. My name is Adam. You're watching SportsCornerGH. Quickly, let's jump into it. And I want to begin with a question. Who was your man of the match? Let me know it down below in the comments. Mine was Mohammed Kudus. Guys, comment Kudus. The fact that he was the only creative spark for Tottenham Hotspurs and made sure that the 2 goals that were scored for Tottenham Hotspurs were to him, Mohammed Kudus. 2 assists for him. But I want us to talk about the game. But then don't forget to let me know who was your man of the match. Let's talk about the game. When the game began, I saw a bit of rotation with the Tottenham side. Odibe starting, Destiny Udogie starting. I was like, okay, let me see what this coach is trying to do. Because pretty much he kept the quality. Kudus, the defenders, Mickey Van de Ven, Romero, Vicario, like the team was pretty much having its core team. It's just 1 or 2, 3 players that were changed. So I was like, okay, let's see what happens. When the game started, the first 10 minutes, it was all about Tottenham Hotspurs. They were controlling the ball, they were playing very well, they were creating chances, Kudus was dribbling. And something happened in like the first 2 minutes. The officiating was so bad. Kudus had a very nice ball, well controlled. His first touch was what everyone was talking about, and the referee whistled for a foul. That was not a foul. It wasn't a foul, and it pained me a lot because that was a clear goal scoring opportunity for Mohammed Kudus. It did not happen, and I told myself that no, I have to address this. EPL referees, they need to do their works very well. That particular one, it pained me a lot. But the sad thing about this game was that Tottenham conceded very early in the game. In fact, they conceded 2 goals in the game. At a point, I felt like the game was dead. Because after they conceded the goal, Mohammed Kudus couldn't even dribble. Kudus was not seen top. And looks like this game, without Mohammed Kudus playing well, Tottenham cannot create chances. It was so clear. Look at their midfield. It was so blunt, so flat. Take a look at the left side. They were not producing anything. So it was all Mohammed Kudus, and Mohammed Kudus was working overtime. So it got to a point, he was not able to dribble the Brighton player in the first half. I told myself, Kudus needs to go back after the first half, refreshen up, and come back and do something different. Because the first half ended with Tottenham being, scored 2 goals by Brighton and Hove Albion. I was like, Brighton are playing a very pretty good game. Their transitional play was on point. It will take them about 3 touches and they're already in Tottenham's half. Their counter-attacking football was on point. And I noticed Tottenham were using more of their wingers in the first half. So I was wondering to see like if there would be a different thing, if Tottenham were going to do something else, something different in the second half. And when the second half began, Kudus became a different player. The same Kudus that couldn't dribble in the first half was dribbling in the second half, was crossing in the second half, was making things happen in the second half, was creating something out of nothing in the second half. Guys, comment Kudus. Look, Kudus in that second half performed way better than the first half. He himself knows what I'm saying is true. The first half, he was struggling a bit, but the second half, that Brighton player, he will regret because Kudus really used him. And for those who were complaining about Mohammed Kudus' physicality in the EA Sports FC 26 rating, I guess today you understand why Kudus says that they should give him 90. Did you see how he used his strength in that particular game? When it comes to his dribbling, he has the flair. But when to use his strength, he uses it at the right time. And in today's game, he was using it because it got to a point it was very aggressive. That is what I loved about Mohammed Kudus. Mohammed has been talking. Why are you saying more about Mohammed Kudus? Why won't talk about other players? Because Kudus was the only one trying to make something happen in that second half against Brighton. Look at all the crosses that he sent in. There was one cross that I believe Xavi Simons should have scored, but he did not. He did not. And guys, it pains me a lot. I think Xavi Simons' introduction into the game was very good because if you notice, Tottenham were creating more chances and playing more better when they played through the middle. So when Xavi Simons came in, he was playing as a number 10. By a number 10 who has a free license to move to the left-hand side, cuts in and shoots. And I felt like a couple of chances in that game, Xavi Simons should have scored. I'm not going to lie to you. He missed a lot of big chances that if other players had that chance, they would have scored. On the other hand, Kudus was making things happen. And I think Bergvall today was my biggest disappointment because his decision-making in today's game was so bad. I mean, a player who was performing back-to-back, his decision-making in today's game was pretty much bad. But Kudus, for me, stood out in the second half. He pretty much made everything happen for Tottenham Hotspur. If Tottenham has 1 point today, it's because of Mohammed Kudus and what he did. And as I said, he should have gotten about 3 or 4 assists today. He could have easily gotten a goal. A ball deflected, getting to the end of the game, and Kudus almost scored a goal. I was screaming my lungs out. But today, Kudus put in the work, put in the shift, and played extremely well. And I think you guys need to appreciate Mohammed Kudus. But then there's one thing I'm not also happy about. SofaScore. When you take a look at the rating for Mohammed Kudus, it's too low. This is a player who gave 2 assists. Like, can't you see? He was rated 6.4 by SofaScore. I don't know if it's going to go up by the time I finish this video, but currently it is 6.4. And for me, it is too low. He played the full 90 minutes. According to SofaScore, he provided 1 assist. But when you go to has a flash score has it that Mohammed Kudus provided 2 assists. The first assist was for Richarlison to score the goal, and also the second assist was an own goal. So for me, I believe Mohammed Kudus made things happen for Tottenham Hotspur, and I believe he needs a better rating in that particular game. Shot off target 1, shots blocked 1, dribble attempted successful 6 out of 12. Total touches 64, accurate passes completed 22 out of 26, accumulating to 85%. Key passes in the game 2, long crosses accurate 2 out of 10, long balls accurate 1 out of 2, big chances created 1, which resulted in one of the goals, scored by Tottenham Hotspur. And he was rated 6.4, which I believe is very low. At least 6.9, 7.0 would be a perfect rating for Mohammed Kudus and the performance he gave today for Tottenham Hotspur. Now, I believe that this goes to the coach, Thomas Frank. Today, he salvaged a point because of the tactical substitutions he did, especially bringing in Xavi Simons, noticing that the wingers were not doing anything to help Mohammed Kudus create more, especially on the left. Odibert was not creating. Destiny Idogi was really bad today, and I felt like so many mistakes from him. Poro, the same thing, so many mistakes from him. So I understand why the coach brought in Xavi Simons, not to play the left wing, but to be a creative spark through the middle, because that was the only way they were making something happen, especially from even the first goal they scored. It was through the middle. So I'm going to give him his credit for that. But going to the next game, he needs to make his selections right. I think that midfield pair he used today was a bad choice. They really started the game on a bad note, because they will not have considered 2 goals against Brighton and Hove Albion if the right combination in midfield was actually made. So for me, I'm going to give him his credit today for making the mistakes and correcting it. But I believe in the next game, Xavi Simons needs to be starting at a number 10 or put Mohammed Kudus there. He can deliver for you. So Thomas Frank, this goes to you. And this is like a second game where we are seeing a lot of cracks in the system. I mean, it's good to actually identify them, but correcting them on time, and especially in the next game, is very important. But then, guys, this is my own takes on the performance of Mohammed Kudus in the game today against Brighton and Hove Albion in the English Premier League, providing 1 assist or 2 assists. I don't know which is which, because the second assist led to an own goal. It was an own goal, yeah. So I don't know if the assist will be credited to Mohammed Kudus. But according to Flash Score, he was given the assist. SofaScore is not giving Mohammed Kudus the assist. But regardless of that fact, Kudus performed very well, and he was my man of the match. I think every single time I watch him, I just feel like Tottenham needs to give West Ham like another 50 million for, sending Mohammed Kudus to them, because they saw them a very good player, a very super player. I imagine this Tottenham team without Mohammed Kudus, who's going to create those chances for them. You understand? But Kudus was superb today. He used his strength. His dribbling was on point, the flair and everything. I think today he played an important role to help Brighton and Hove Albion not win this game and help Tottenham at least getting a point today. So guys, I'm going to end this here. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and also turn on notification. My name is Adam. Charlie, we go viral.